to myself, seriously, so, so proud. They never ever challenged me again. They never ever said, can you do this, can you do that, because they knew I would do it. But what I did learn at that point in my career, I really had to step outside the box and strip myself of all the perceptions that I felt people believed that directors were. We didn't know everything. Yes, good at the job and everything else, but you have to strip yourself of all the preconceived ideas that you feel that that position holds. So I stripped everything back to basics, thought about the process I was going through, looked to the future and thought, what do I want to achieve? Now, I want to achieve all sorts of things. I was not athletic, although I did play netball once for Monmouthshire, for the county actually, but never an athletic person. So you strip everything back to the basics and think, like, let's build on myself. Let's think where I want to be, where I want to go. What is my vision? Now, of course, by now I have 2 small children. I have 2 daughters within 18 months, and all the male comments, you know, you having another baby, what do you plan to do? No, I don't plan to do that at all. I was fortunate in my parents, and my husband obviously had a construction company, so he took the role really of being the mother. So when I used to go on the Strasbourg flight on a Monday morning and come back on Friday, I didn't have to worry. I had the team around me, and I had a good team around me. So seriously, everyone, never be afraid of the challenges that face you. And you know, at the end of the day, we've all got them. Go for it. Follow your heart. Follow your dream. We talk about people next. We were asked to say people who inspire us. Well, at the age of nearly 60, lots of people would have inspired me. And we talk about Emily Pankhurst, you can talk about Marie Curie, all the people that have actually made it in history. Tessa Sanderson, or an inspiration to us all. But someone for me who really inspired me was Princess Di. Because I felt in her role as an ambassador, she did step out of the box. She did go away from the protocol and bureaucracy of royalty. I felt she was quite humane. That's a personal thing. Lots of other people might say differently, but I did see her as a role model to the youngsters. When I was first asked to talk at this event, I thought I'll do a bit of research now. Being a granny and all the rest of it, I'd have a look what youngsters think about role models. So I'm fortunate to be a grandmother and to go to events with the children, and I managed to talk to a young group of girls between 11 and 14, and I asked them who inspired them. They didn't know what I meant. I thought that's the wrong word, Jan. So I said, no, seriously, girls, you know, one was my niece, and I said, seriously, Kaylee, who do you really want to be like? Do you look at any person and you want to be like them? And no, still no response. I said, well, is there a pop star? Isn't there somebody in politics? Isn't there an actress you'd like to be like? And to my horror, they came back with Amy Winehouse. And I'm thinking, what a role model. So basically, you know, is it the fame that they're actually looking at as youngsters, or is it the inspiration we aspire to? And I felt I got the message across wrong. It was definitely the fame. I thought, Amy Winehouse? No way. Yes, I like her singing. Yes, I like her music. But role model, definitely not. And it saddens me to think that 11 to 14-year-olds really, really felt that she was a role model. So what are we going to do about it? How are we going to channel the effects in education? How are we going to get the message across to that age group, to the next career, to the next people who are going to succeed us? And every decade, women come more and more to the fore. Because we've gone from Emily Pankhurst, we've gone through all the decades, and even to Tessa's decade, and now we're looking for the next decade, where we look to Bethan. 27? I mean, my kids are 33 and 35, you know, but we need to be looking all the time. And I think each decade we have progressed. We have moved further and further. And I think as women It's about stripping away everything and really go for it. Do not be put off with the trousers in the boardroom. I always wear trousers. You know, be able to speak out, be yourself. And you actually pinched my quotation, which I actually love, Eleanor Roosevelt. And it's very, very true. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Why should we feel inferior? That is perception. That is an old, old perception that women are for staying at the kitchen sink and having children. That's the perception of us. But I think we're changing that. And I think there's inspirational women everywhere. I mean, Eva Peron, what an inspiration. Argentina, absolutely amazing woman. I don't know why I have to sing and dance here now, because Denise will be tapping her fingers on me now. Talking about books, how many people have read Becoming the Workplace Goddess? Charlene Proctor? She's written a series of 7 books. Now, whilst I will say they are inspirational, they're very deep and meaningful books, very spiritual, and as with the book In Search of Excellence, which I've read 3 times, because the first time I didn't understand it, these series of books are exactly the same. They're spiritual, deep, meaningful books. You're not going to sort of get it day one. It's a book you read and say, I didn't really like that book. You put it down, but it sticks in the memory, and you think, I need to read that again and again. And the more you read it, the more you will sort of identify with it. One of the books she written was Having Affirmative Power. Affirmative power. What does that mean to us women? Being positive, thinking about yourselves, moving forward. I mean, one of her quotes, I have to put my glasses on for this because it's a bit long. I believe using affirmations as contemplative reminders of who we are helps keep us in balance. It is the first step in claiming your self-worth, which is the foundation of true self-value. And I really think we should believe in ourselves and value ourselves. And I think I might have to do moving now. I think it might be the double act turn now. I mean, you know, basically, I mean, you know, Denise and I have come from very different backgrounds. We're terrific friends. We've worked together. We've started the company together. Everybody's sort of saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing these type of things, but we do. I remember another promotion. I left the IDC, which was the International Disposal Corporation, and I went to work for Alexon, the rag trade. Now, that was a baptism of fire, a real baptism of fire, because I knew nothing about the rag trade whatsoever. The glamorous bits were I had free clothes. I had all the designer clothes under the sun. Then we acquired Dash, so I had sporty gear. And then we sort of acquired Dorset, so I had shoes, you know, so there was lots of acquisitions and all going on. But the first time was when my promotion in Alexon, I was based in Luton. And it's the first time I'd ever worked in a multiracial environment and different cultures, and I found it really, really stretching. So I said, I'm going on this mission now. I'm going to find out about all these religious ceremonies, Yom Kippur, various things, Chinese, and they used to send me to the mosque to meet all the leaders, which I didn't understand anything about whatsoever. Things like, especially being head of HR, we had Italian pattern cutters, obviously from the Jewish descent, and they would say that a relative had died. So, you know, making a real fool of myself in the early days, I'd say, well, just let me know what time you want off for the funeral. Oh, it's this afternoon. This afternoon? We only just died this morning. But obviously, they died before sunset. Things I didn't know. So it was a mission now. So I'm quite good on ethnic cultures. I've learned a lot about them. And I think that for someone like myself, I still have